do, since I'm doing this for spatial reasons, I'm going to go to spatial I/O.
So Ryan, who's in spatial right now? Watching this?
Nobody. I
Oh,
don't
no
think
one's in there?
anybody's.
Okay.
I'm just using it to be able to stream more content that I could in here. In here, I can only stream my Edge tab. And now that it's not working, I'd have to do something like OBS and stream it to DLive and then stream it back. It's just stupid. All right, here's where it says get started with the starter template. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to go here. I'm going to download that template. I just clicked on it. Again, it's not pulling up my thing, but what I'm doing is I'm now opening that file. I'm going to unzip it, but when I hit extract all, I am going to browse where I want it. Make sure we know where we want it. I want it in my spatial folder. We're going to call this spatial 13 folder now. Oh. Stand by. Oh, yeah, let's create folder. Spatial 13. There we go. And we're going to call it Jones. Oh. Stand by. And extracting. I'll show you how that. I'll show the other part in just a second. And I'm going to share the Unity hub so you can see that part. Unshare, share, no, boom, and boom. All right, back in the Unity hub. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, open, add project from disk. Go to my F drive, spatial 13. Oh, should go inside the actual folder. Stand by, not just spatial. Spatial 13, and there it is, add project. So now, scroll all the way to the top. There it is a few seconds ago. And essentially what I'm doing is I am opening up two Unity files at the same time. So I have Unity 2021 open, and I have Unity 3.18 for AltSpace open. The 3.8 open the actual project that I want to convert, and the 2021 version is the one I need to convert everything to. So what I'm essentially going to do is drag and drop a lot of this into the new Unity file. Now, when I do this, what do you think is going to happen with the colors and mm-hmm. Yep. Cool. Now that's settled. So I now have a blank Unity file open. It is on the current version with the SDK for spatial. And on the other tab over here, which for some reason I cannot share, is my Petra, which I'm bringing up here. So we're going to drag and drop it in. So the first thing I'm going to do is check my assets. So if you look in here, I want to make sure. Can everybody see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I am looking to make sure. There's a million ways to skin a cat. You can do things a lot differently than I can. If you can come up with a better idea, you could just export it as a package, all sorts of stuff. But for me, because this one's going to be slightly different from in there, because I wasn't 100% the way I like this world, I'm going to start with the assets that I brought in. I normally put all my assets just straight up in the asset tab. so that I have these are textures and things that I got from the Envato elements I taught about a long time ago. I used to get, like commercial assets or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click here and hold the shift key. And now I'm literally, as I know you can't see it, but what I'm doing is I'm dragging those directly in to this other texture file. So now all my textures will be similar, right? It's copying now. It's a little lengthy process. I even got some animations and things that came in. I'm not sure if they're going to port over just right. I did not make one. I dragged them all exactly the same. So what I did is I hold the key and then I hit start at the top left and then I hit the bottom right and the shift key highlighted them all. I dragged it into the other Unity file. Just dragged it right into my assets. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Exactly. Yep. Alright, so you can see I have now copied all those assets. Everybody see the screen now? So this is the 2021 version of Unity, Altspace. And so all I did was just drag and drop those textures. My audio files are there. All the audio, all the animation did come in. I just don't know if it's going to work properly. I may have to redo some of the animations. But now I have those textures, okay? So now I'm going to do the exact same thing, but this time I'm going to do it with, well, before I do that, I'm going to duplicate all the same assets. So I have to re-import and download the same assets so that, like, any of my effects, so I'm going to do the all-in-one, and I do not know why it won't. I know why it won't let me share my screen, and it's because I'm sharing the audio and the screen here in Altspace. If I was not, I could share my whole I could share my whole computer, but because I'm sharing to two, it's kind of messing up, and I have no option but to only share Edge here in Altspace. So what I'm doing is I'm going to talk you through the package managers where I get all my Unity apps from. So on the I can, however, share and copy so you can see this one. Come on. You see here on the left hand side, you see my mouse here? This is the old version of Unity. And so I have this all-in-one VFX toolkit. I have this Aquarius visual pack. I have grass flowers. Here's some Sketchfab stuff I brought in from import. I may bring those in, may not. Then I have Laxer assets. I don't remember what that was for, but basically I'm going to go systematically and re-add these same assets into this new version. So the first thing I'm gonna do for my all-in-one VFX toolkit, and I'm gonna read out. There's a reason I'm reading out. Instead of just exporting it, I'm gonna be downloading it because there might be functionality in that asset that works in the 2021 as opposed to the 2020 that we're using in Altspace. Does that make sense? So I am importing that now, and it's just a time-consuming process. Go ahead.
Smooth works all the time sort of process. Just isn't quite there yet.
The VR chat anyway.
Okay.
done is I have created a, zoom in here, I have created a prefab of the world. Anybody remember how to make kits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I did is inside the old version of Unity, I hit right click, create, and I created a prefab. That's not even popular. Unbelievable. But if I scroll up, you can at least see where I created it, and I just called it Jones, where it's alphabetical. So there's Mr. Jones. Oh, well, I'm inside of it. So what I did is I literally just copied the environment and pasted it into Jones, which Jones was H-I-J, there it is, right there. See that? Are you seeing right next to
your mouse out there?
KBY? Yeah.
Oh, that, yeah.
So I just copied the environment and pasted it into a prefab, and then I named it Jones, just for simplicity's sake. So now all I have to do is take this exact file, drag it into the new version, just right into my assets. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I will unshare and reshare that screen so you can see this screen. And that is this blank one. There we go. So now I'm on the 2021 version, and I just dragged in my Jones prefab, which it's coming. There it is. Do you guys see the pinkness? See all that pink? All right. I'm just gonna bring it into my file. There it is. All right. Doesn't that look beautiful?
Absolutely.
And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna center it in the world. 0 and 0 on the XYZs. And my terrain did not come in. Anybody know why?
No.
The terrain didn't come in because I haven't downloaded the package of the terrain yet that I was using. But before I go, but before I go any further, I'm going to show you, because I don't have time to do this whole world. It'll take me probably 2 days just to convert this. I'm clicking on all materials right now under the project tab. So if I click on all materials, you'll see it's slowly loading all of these, and we're gonna see some of the materials are pink, right? Pink is no bueno. At least I can get you started so you understand the process here. So
means no good.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. This is also a Spanish class. Thank you, Darren. Just kidding. So right now, some things came in, other things did not. I'll scroll down more, but first, what I'm going to do is, because I don't want to use the shift button because this one looks okay. I'm just going to hold the control, and then I'm going to hit these other 4. So in the screen that I see, I have now highlighted these 4 pink options down here near the bottom right. Now what I'm going to do is go to Edit, Rendering, Materials, and convert the selected built-in materials to URP. And proceed.
Is that on the right side? Is that on your right side screen?
Hold on. What's left? That's on my left screen. Yeah, that's right here. So those just happen right over here, right down here.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Okay. So now I'm going to scroll down again. Sometimes you get lucky and they're all in a row. And I'm going to go through every single material and get rid of all the pinks and upgrade them to URP.
I could do that. I've did that lots of times.
So you got to do that on the screen too, correct?
Well, you only have to do this if you're bringing in an old file and transferring an old world. You don't have to do this if you're starting from scratch and building right into the platform. It'll automatically do that. You create a material, it just boom, URP. So I'm just scrolling through, making sure I got them all.
The Jones there that you brought in was already URP. How come it's back to pink in the screen? But you have to render it again.
If anybody has an answer for that, I would love to know.
Yeah, man, why that? Yeah, it didn't come in already rendered.
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, that's the same
And again, I
question.
don't know everything.
So this is one of those times where there is more, like you said, more ways to skin a cat. I'm doing the same thing, but I'm doing it a slightly different way. I don't get the pink, but honestly, learning to do this is good because you're going to encounter so many things that you really want that will build for standard definition pipeline.
I mean, it only takes a second to convert it, so yeah, it's not a problem.
What I would try
Yeah.
here, the only difference I would try here, Ryan, is I would click somewhere in the dead space of this open menu with all these materials and textures put together, and I would select all. Would do Control A, select all.
Yeah.
And then in your inspector, it's going to tell you how many things you have selected up here.
Sure, right here.
This would be the only difference. Yeah. So click on your materials there.
Which one?
It just, yeah, there's an actual thing. It'll tell you the amount of materials.
Yeah,
If
it said I
says
had
materials,
362 materials. Do that again.
That's holy schmoly. But go ahead and click on that. And that should divide everything out of that you selected down to just the material options. Once you have just the materials selected, just do the conversion anyway, whether it's pink or not, because if it's already URP, it's going to convert. It'll be the same, right? And if it's CAD, it'll be fixed. And this is more of just a sledgehammer approach without having to go through it and go one by one.
Okay.
Just hit them all at once,
Seen that
whether they're
discussed
already good or
online.
not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If that works.
I got you.
Thank you.
That would
but
be the only difference I did. If I was doing it your way, that's the only difference. I would just hit them all.
But it's
When you select them all, it shows you how many materials you select, how many objects you have selected, and how many textures you have selected. And so it's kind of divided it up for you, but if you actually click on the materials, it'll only select the materials out of everything you highlighted. So when you go to upgrade it, all the materials are going to upgrade. You don't have to hunt back through the menu to go find the ones you need to fix. It'll just hit them all at once.
gotcha.
Yeah, saw that.
Do is just grab a texture.
Someone's got a
something
there.
But what I could do is just grab an item, and I could retexture it completely. So I could just click here and just start bringing in different colors directly. So I don't have to necessarily go with the old version. I can start it with the new version. And I still got to bring in the terrain, but I have to bring in that terrain asset that I was using for this, even though some of it was built directly on that. I'm using some textures and stuff from the grass and flower pack that still needs to come in. But at least you can bring in, that's just the general gist of how you can retexture. You can either put in your own new material, or you can continue to get all those same assets back in, upgrade the URP, and then it should be, it's not seamless, but it's close. It will save you hours of work as for reconstructing it from scratch. Any questions on that? Because it's my dinner time, folks.
Well,
Mr. Jones?
Yeah, what you did with the Mr. Jones, you created?
I created a prefab. So to create a prefab of the entire world, all I did was right-clicked just on the main asset tab. like I said, for me personally, I don't subfolder the stuff that I bring in. Like if I brought in a texture that's not part of Unity or a Unity asset, if I brought in, like, you see this KBY, that was actually part of the tail number in the movie, so I actually made that in Paint. Anything I bring in specifically, including audio and animations, my own personal glass, which, by the way, Optic taught me on that one. I just kind of bring it in over and over again and change the settings ever so slightly. I just drag and drop them into the main asset folder. So what I did here, you see this Jones, you're seeing that, right? All you got to do to create a prefab is right-click inside there, anywhere, create, and create a prefab. The same way you would do it to create a kit item, I turn the entire world into a kit item, essentially. Now, I'll explain again. So, yeah, so when I brought in, so here's a new one right here. It says new prefab. So I would call this Mrs. Jones, demo. Okay, too late. Alright, so now it's going to alphabetize it, and now it's a blank prefab. And it's just called demo, right? So if I want to duplicate Jones, all I got to do is double click on Jones, right? And I can click everything underneath Jones, not Jones itself, but everything under it. I'm going to hold the shift key. There's a lot of missing stuff in there, but I just take it and drag it directly in demo.
A prefab.
And now everything's coming in. And now my Mr. Jones now is in here twice, which we'll delete it in a little bit, but just for the demonstration, there is demo. Oh no. You guys know what I did?
Nope. You copy and paste everything.
I copy and pasted everything into my asset. It didn't actually go into the file.
One moment.
Okay.
No, you can't.
Super
Oh,
back here.
man. So all those little things are
Human.
in there.
Well,
Yeah. So what I should have done, learning lesson here, is I could go here, where underneath the Jones tab, all the way down, hold the shift. Now what I can do is hit Control C, alright? And then now I gotta go find the D's for demo. Oh, that sucks. There we go. Alright. Now under here, Control V, I just paste it into a prefab. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Now I have a separate prefab that I want it, but yeah, you can't undo it. I put all the subfolders inside that same tab. That sucks. I wanted it in a single file structure, but whatever. True. But for the purposes I'm doing here, honestly, it doesn't. I don't really mind. That's the time I got for you guys.